What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Rope Monster here. So I want to show you a beach today that I go to rest, relax, decompress anytime I'm feeling kind of stressed or just tired, exhausted. But also it's a place I go to cool off, and there's some nice shade there, so it's a good place for a picnic. Sometimes I do some exercise there, meditate, and I can find a spot where I won't get sunburnt or overheat. And speaking of overheating, I woke up today at like 6:30 in the morning and it was still hot. It never cooled off at night. It's 9:30 now at the time of starting this video, and I'm sweating. It's hot, it's humid. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna spend the day at this special beach. Now, you can't find this beach on the map necessarily. It doesn't really have a name. And so I'm here at the entrance of Punta Esmeralda. And you can get here off of 5th Avenue. There's a walkway out to Punta Esmeralda. You can Google that. But from this point, this is a secret spot of Playa del Carmen that I'm going to show you. So without further ado, let's go. Oh yeah. And I can already feel that cool breeze, way better than being in my apartment. This is one of those days where I would prefer to spend the whole day out here. It is windy, so I have the furry on my mic. Hopefully that's doing the trick and keeping that wind noise down for you guys on your end. If you enjoy these beach walks and these secret spots, please drop a like for me and subscribe. It means the world to me, helps grow the channel, and I really appreciate it. Also, check me out over on Instagram if you haven't already. I have a lot of beach content, battle ropes content, and some unique content over there. So I think quite a few people had the same idea as me today, thinking, you know what, it's hot in town, let's get up early, let's get out. But we've already left the crowds behind us. So this point right here is Punta Esmeralda. And then you can see that white gazebo. You can see that white gazebo over there. Sorry, I don't have my mic clipped to me. I'm just holding it in my hand, so when I point, my audio goes away. That white gazebo, and then to the south is Punta Esmeralda, and then Playa 88, Playa 72, and Playa Colosio down where I play volleyball, right in the center of your screen there. So those beaches can get pretty crowded. We're gonna go somewhere where you can be completely alone and decompress. And maybe you guys can also help me name this beach when we get there. The best name I can come up with so far is Playa Casa del Arbol, or Treehouse Beach, because there's kind of a sweet little treehouse there. But there's also like some other unique features. So I'd like to get your guys' opinion in the comments on what the name of this beach should be, at least according to us. And my apologies, I'm walking a little slower today than usual, but I was playing volleyball last weekend, and I played 3 days in a row, which I don't typically do, so I'm sore from that. And also, me and a buddy of mine collided right at the net. We jumped into each other, and I thought I was fine, but he's a pretty big guy, and it was kind of like running into a brick wall. And so I thought I was fine, and then the next day I felt like I got in a car accident. So that's lingering. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to this beach, is to just lay down a towel and do some breathing work and stretch and rest. Another purpose of this video was to update you guys on the seaweed situation here. This is March 21st, 2024, and you can see there is a bit of seaweed here, quite a bit, but that's because these beaches here to the north aren't as well maintained, and so that's one of the trade-offs. If you do want a beach with little to no seaweed right now, Playa and to the south of there, where I featured in Secret Spots of Playa del Carmen Part 1, those beaches will be your best options to avoid the seaweed, have the most crystal clear water possible, and do a lot of swimming and water activities. This beach that we're going to today, it's not really the best swimming beach. That's not the point. The point is kind of what I mentioned before, that it's shaded, it's peaceful, quiet, and has that nice constant breeze because it's kind of out on a point. I think I'll walk a little closer to the water, even get my feet in there, so you guys can hear the nice sounds of the waves. And it's crazy, I've heard all sorts of YouTubers and people talking about when the best time of year is for the seaweed. And I think there's some level of randomness to it, because from what I've heard, this time of year is not supposed to be bad for the sargasso. But it kind of is, at least up here. This is actually worse as far as the seaweed. This is worse than it was in November and December when I first got here. Still beautiful though. I mean, a little bit of seaweed isn't going to ruin a beach like this. Lots of little private spots back in here, shady spots along the way. If you don't feel like walking all the way to where we're going today, there are these other little hangout spots. And by midday, you will be looking for the shade. Even if the sun feels good in the morning, it really starts cooking later in the day. So this is one of the little spots along the way. If you're traveling with kids or anyone sensitive to the sun, this can be a really good resting spot on the walk that we're doing today. So look at the view from right here. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So this might be my first rest spot. Grab some pistachios, some water, and then we'll push on. And after that nice little break in the shade, we're continuing our walk to the south here. A couple other little popular shady spots here. These 3 cocoa palms. People tend to set up camp there as well. Just enough shade to stay cool. Looks like somebody set up a volleyball net here too. That's new. That's cool. Some of you who live down here in Playa or who may be coming on vacation may have noticed the exchange rate has gotten to be a little unfavorable if you're bringing US dollars or Canadian dollars or other foreign currencies. And I wanted to touch on why that is just very briefly, because a lot of people are pointing fingers at the obvious thing of a lot of American and Canadian digital nomads coming down here and turning their dollars into pesos, and that of course strengthens the peso. But there are other reasons. The Central Bank of Mexico as well has interest rates locked in at 11.25%. So like inflation here has been pretty sticky too, not just in the US. So you're talking about inflation well over 4% here in Mexico. And so that Mexican central bank has something to do with it. But a big thing that nobody seems to want to talk about is record high remittances. So remittance is, for those of you who don't know, when people go to another country and send back the currency. So one example would be Mexicans traveling to the US to work and then sending back dollars. And the amount of dollars coming back into Mexico are at all-time highs. And we're talking, billions. This year we're looking at, probably 6, 7, 8 billion plus in remittances. And part of that is because the US labor market is so strong. So imagine if all these dollars are being sent back and being turned into pesos, that will also strengthen the peso quite a bit. So as of today, the exchange rate is about 16.6 to 1. So it's livable. I've seen it as bad as, or as low as 10 to 1, long time ago. But I've also been here when it's 24 or 25 to 1, and you can imagine the dollars go a lot farther in that case. Secret spot of Playa del Carmen, because I've never heard anybody talk about this place. I've told my neighbor who's been here longer than me about this place, and he had no idea that it existed. And it's not on the map. So we've walked quite a ways now. That point down there is Punta Esmeralda. So maybe a 15 to 20 minute walk total. Nothing compared to the beaches from the first part of this series, Secret Spots of Playa del Carmen Part 1. That was quite the excursion. But as you could see in that video, it was well worth it. And if you haven't seen that one yet, definitely go back and check it out. Secret Spots of Playa del Carmen Part 1. Pristine white sand beaches, crystal clear water, and some secret spots with basically no people. And I may go back there later this week just to take a rest day and spend the day in that water. So the seaweed up here is not always this bad. They do clean it up from time to time, just not as frequently. It's not a daily thing like in the south over at Playa. So every now and then it will look like this, but check this spot out right here. This to me makes it worthwhile because I don't chill right on the beach at this spot. I come back up into this area. And you can see there's some shade. Usually I hang out right in here. By midday, these trees give me some shade. And that view is really, really nice. One thing you may be able to pick up a little bit by watching the movement and the way these palms and plants are blown back, it speaks to the constant breeze that I was describing earlier. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here for the cool breeze and the shade. And also I'm gonna have a little picnic. I brought some cheese, nuts, some snacks, an apple. And I'm gonna sit up here in the treehouse. And this is why I'm calling this beach Playa Casa del Arbol, Treehouse Beach, because we've got this sweet little treehouse, just like out of Swiss Family Robinson. For those of you older people watching who might know that movie. So I'm gonna climb up in here and eat some snacks, decompress. And as you can see, as promised, look, there are no people around here. We're completely alone. And even if there were a few people here, there's plenty of space to rest and spread out. Lots of private little picnic spots. Places where you could actually probably set down some yoga mats and do a little group yoga with your friends. We've got like kind of a labyrinth or something that somebody made right there. That's pretty sweet. So there you have it, guys. Playa Casa del Arbol. Drop a like for me if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been to this beach. I'd be interested to know that. Alright guys, thanks for stopping in, checking out the content. As always, I appreciate the support. We'll see you guys in the next one. Rope Monster, out. You know you haven't fully grown up when you're spending the better part of your day in a treehouse. Yep, this is the spot. This beach never fails. I just woke up from the best nap I've had since last time I came to the beach. So there you have it. That's why I come here. Maybe I'll call this nap beach. Siesta. Playa Siesta. Sounds pretty good. Playa Siesta.